Welcome to Cape Arid. So we are on our way to Israelite Bay. We are on the Israeli track. Instead of taking the air highway to go through to the Null Harbour, we are just going to try to just follow the Telegraph track and rejoin the air highway in about 500 kilometers. So it is going to be fun. It's going to be packed with a lot of history about the Telegraph track and a fair bit of four-wheel driving as well. So come with us.
Bonjour and welcome back to 4x4 Explore. This is me, and here's my husband Keith. We enjoy traveling around Australia in our Toyota 79 series fitted with a Tommy camper. Join us on our journey, and if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Heading to Israelite Bay. The track is in good shape, just few washouts from past floods. We meet some of the locals before arriving at the historic Telegraph station. What a spot!
So that was the Telegraph station. I think until 1930s, it was what was keeping basically the telegraph line going between South Australia and Western Australia. So Western Australia invested a lot of money in those days into the telegraph track because being such a remote state, their governor at that point assigned about a third of his budget to just build this telegraph track, including this telegraph station. But they spend a lot of money developing the track, and tomorrow we will be taking the telegraph track up to Point Culver, I think it's called, or yeah, Point Culver, and yeah, to have a look how it is. But what a remote place to live for, you know, the station master, and I think there was 2 or 3 people living full-time here. They would be receiving all their provisions from by the sea. It took us a good 2-3 hours from Esperance to come here by car. So you imagine by horse it'll take a little bit longer. So yeah, very, very remote. So now we have spent a few days here in Israelite Bay. We are trying to get a good feel for the place. Can now understand a bit better why they've built that telegraph station here. It's because, in my opinion, the bay here in normal days like today is actually quite sheltered. So to just get reapprovisionment from by sea would have been relatively easy, with quotes, compared to Culver Point, which we'll see later on during the trip.
This is Cook's Cottage, an old homestead from the 1883. And look at those bones, whale bones. Impressive, right?
these are the graves of 3 of the people who used to live here, probably up to the end. It looks like they died around the 1916, 1912 time. So they were Len Slur, don't know what position he had in there. Thomas Brass, which was the postmaster. Thomas died age 44, so quite a young age. And John Cook, who was a linesman. Israelite Bay, it's a very, very nice place to stay. We decided to stay a few days because it is very well sheltered. There's a lot of camping spots which are very secluded from one another. Yeah, it's really, really nice. The water is so inviting. Fortunately, it's a bit cold, but we would have been here a month later. I definitely would have been in. Obviously, no facilities at all, so you need to be self-contained. So bring lots of water and food. But what a place! So we are leaving Israelite Bay, and we're going to take one of the explorers' trek, which is called Nuytsland Nature Reserve Trek. So we're going to take that as a reference for our travel. The game plan today is to make it to the Wattle camp and decide from there. The tide for this week is great. The high tide is at 9 a.m. Low tide is about 4. And what is very interesting is in this part of the country is that the tide remains pretty much the same from one day to another. It doesn't really move in time. We will decide at Wattle camp if we want to keep going on the beach today or not. We will depend if it's well sheltered from the wind or not. All right, you ready, Keith?
Yes.
Ready. All right, let's find our way out of Israelite Bay. Ended up taking the Telegraph track. It's only 8:26 in the morning. The high tide is at 9, so it makes more sense to go inland instead of going through the beach. So we're not exactly following explorers' trek in this part. So we just stopped on one of the salts lake to have brekkie. It's still very soft. You can feel it when you are walking. Sometimes you can see that you're leaving some quite deep footprint. So you wouldn't want to do it in the wet. On the Telegraph track, and we've been seeing a few of those telegraph poles, which my guess is that they would have been erected over 130 years ago, and they're still standing. It's quite amazing, isn't it? So it is slow going, averaging 15 kilometers per hour. Some parts are extremely slow. But we are following another set of tracks. Somebody's been driving this track in the last couple of days. So it makes it much easier for us because we can just follow it. So that allows us to avoid driving on stick, which could create puncture to the tire, and obviously avoid some very deep mud puddles as well. All right, we've got about 10 kilometers to go before we arrive to Wattle camp. Wattle camp, but it is still very early in the day, so we've decided to just keep going, and we're going to go to the, I think it's called the Bilbunya Sand Dunes, which apparently are one of the tallest sand dunes in Australia. The plan now is to try to find a track to go down onto the beach. There's just too much weed on the beach, and makes it very difficult to drive onto. So I think we will take the safe option and go onto the inland track instead. So we are not sure if we are on the right track. You see, the map suggests that this track ends just at the start of the salt lake. There is few tracks marked on the road, so definitely other people have been driving this track recently, but we're just not sure if we are going to have to turn around. Like the track keeps going. Go. So very nice scenery here. We've got the big cliffs just on the side there. On the other side we will see soon the Bilbunya Sand Dunes, and we can actually see all the sort of sandstorm happening. You can see quite a lot of cloud of yellow white dust in the background over there. It is a bit narrow. We made it to the Bilbunya lookout, the camping ground at the top, because we came behind the sand dune. We arrived right at the top there. So now I'm going to go down a bit closer to the beach to see if I can get a view of the Bilbunya Sand Dune. Wow, the sand dune is impressive. It's a bit further along than what I planned it to be, but it's massive. I think it's about 5 kilometers from here, but it looks like it's a mountain itself. I don't think you'll see it on the camera because it's the same color as a cloud. It's so white that it's going to be very, very difficult to see today. So I'm hoping tomorrow morning, with the sun behind me, we will be able to see it better. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, but this here is probably one of the most remote, isolated beach in Western Australia. The wind is really, really strong. Big sea here. So Point Culver is another 7 kilometers that way. We can barely see the cliffs over there because there's so much wind and there's so much dust and mist being created. And the same for over there. We can't really see very far away. This is what you get when you drive through the bushes. We're taking half the forest with us in there. The tap here got a hammer. Fortunately, we've got that in front. But yeah, quite a lot of scratches going through the trees. Good morning. So we are at the Bilbunya Sand Dune lookout, and unfortunately there's not much to see. It's very, very hazy. I tried to have a look at it yesterday and it was also super, super hazy. The sea was very, very rough yesterday, so we made the decision to come through the inland track. So we really haven't really seen the sand dune, which is a bit disappointing, but it'll be for another adventure. We need to keep going just because we want to make sure we've got enough fuel to get out of here. And yeah, I don't like to really go back when we know that we need to move forward, right? So this morning we are going to start driving. We have to get up that big cliff there. I think it's a conveyor belt system. No, it's not going to move. It's just basically some rubber mats that they have put down to help the car with the traction. So anyway, we had quite a lot of fun so far. We've seen only one car. We've only met one person on this track so far. So many people are going to ask me, well, aren't you scared to be, you know, by yourself in the middle of nowhere? Well, yes, it is extremely remote. And don't get me wrong, we do prepare as much as possible for this kind of situation. Obviously, there is always a little bit of an unknown, but it's all in the preparation. So first of all, we have built our car with this kind of tracks in mind. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll just put the link on the screen right now. So we have used part which makes the car much more rugged and much more reliable. So that was the first one. Second, we also get our car serviced more than on a regular basis. Every 7,000 kilometers we get the car properly serviced. And then for a trek preparation itself, I do a fair bit of research on Facebook, on YouTube as well. Although this trek is not as popular on YouTube, but there is one place where you can get a lot of information is from Explorers Travelers. So Explorers is not only an app, it's also a community. So in this particular case, I posted in the forum that we were intending to do this track, just to ask if anybody's done the track recently and what was the condition of the track. And within 24 hours, I had 7 replies. So it's quite good, and it's quality replies as well. So really good information. So this is another reason why I do recommend Explorers Traveler. Okay, so now this morning we're going to make a move. Keith has started to pack up already. He's a good boy. We'll make a move toward the conveyor belt.
Tyres back up, should I?
No.
So this is the Wylie Scarp conveyor belt. This would make it very, very tricky, wouldn't it?
It'd be impossible in that soft sand up here.
Yeah.
Hold on, Chris.
Diff lock on.
Chance not to drop my tyres.
Yeah. All right, dropping the tires.
One more go.
Okay. To do.
Let my tyres down.
All right, letting the tires down.
Well, now we've got a very nice view of those big sand dunes. So we are quite deep. You can see the sand getting up to the axle. So we've deflated 18 at the back. How much? 14 at the back? 18 at the back, 14 at the front. gone, but now we just have to find the MaxTrax, which are buried. You find it? You nearly tipped over there, didn't you? No. Ah well, 2 MaxTrax recovered. 2. Well, that was a bit of excitement to start the morning.
It's a day's exercise.
Yeah. Well, look at where we are. We have driven this morning more than 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, Keith, to just come and see this. And I can tell you, it was worth every single minute of that effort, for sure. We are on the Great Australian Bight, and it is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. The color of the water is fluorescent blue, and look at those cliffs. It is incredible, but the sea is so strong that it's just creating this big mist around us. But wow, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy. It's absolutely stunning. Toolinna Cove. So this is Toolinna Cove. Now, from what I've read, Toolinna Cove was used to resupply the workers for the telegraph line. So I think they've dug a little bit in the rock a bit further up, so they can basically land things here on the beach and then drag them up here. What a job, but what a beautiful place. Plenty of activities there in the water with some big massive sharks.
It's incredible.
Keith is a man of few words. We might stay here a few minutes just to appreciate the view here. We are by ourselves, there's nobody else. We have not seen a soul for a few days now. It's very, very remote, but yet not so remote. We are like 70k from the air highway, and this is where we are going to go next. We're going to find somewhere to camp before reaching the air highway. But hey, this has been a fantastic adventure, and absolutely must do. The Great Australian Bight. You have to see it to really believe it, how big it is. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. this will be the end of the episode. So if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment just to say good day. And we'll see you on the next adventure.